Welcome back, my name is AlexBeltran, and usually I am talking about real estate. However, in this particular video, it's going to be a little bit of a change because I keep getting messages from other fellow real estate agents that want to know, how do I start a real estate YouTube channel? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about it. All right, so one of the most popular messages that I actually get is, should I start a YouTube channel? And to that, I say unequivocally, yes, do it. Start a YouTube channel. It's free marketing, it strengthens your brand, and it broadens your knowledge. Yes, please, sign me up. Plus, at a bare minimum, it pushes you to explore topics beyond your everyday work. So if you're not gonna do this for, the marketing and the branding and all that, at least do it for yourself, because you're gonna gain a lot of knowledge diving into these topics that you normally wouldn't dive into. All right, so I'm gonna break it down between optimal and good enough. Also, everything that I'm gonna be talking about, all the cameras, all the different features, are gonna be linked in the description down below. So if you wanna check any of that out, click on the description. All right, cool. Look, ironically, some of my most viewed videos are videos that I shot on the fly. Some of my most information-packed videos are videos that I shot in a studio. So there is no right or wrong answer to this. Do what works best for you, okay? Starting the YouTube channel is gonna be like the easiest part in all of this. You literally just sign up and choose a name. All right, if you're a realtor, chances are you already have a name that you use, a type of slogan. Go ahead and keep that consistent with the rest of your marketing. Now comes the fun part, the filming. If you can do everything in one take, then awesome, go for it. If you prefer a higher production value and want to repeat lines and kind of make everything a little bit more production heavy, great. Each has their pros, each has their cons. As Thomas Swalwell says, there are no solutions, there are only trade-offs. All right, so good enough for filming is actually your cell phone. Just make sure you use these back cameras, not the front camera, because the back cameras have the better resolution. All right, on top of that, it is a cell phone, so it has a really good microphone. The fact that it's basically an all-in-one package allows you to record, easily manage the files, and easily edit these files as well. So, that's it. Congratulations. Grab your cap and gown because you just graduated Easy YouTube Making 101. Now for optimal, right? Get a dedicated YouTube camera. There are entry-level Canons and Sonys that work very well in this particular space. Now, if you're a little more out and about, you're gonna wanna consider a camera that has automatic settings, so something a little more like a GoPro or an Insta360. They're built a little bit tougher, and if you happen to drop it, it's not gonna be the end of the world, or if it starts to rain, it's not gonna screw up your camera. Now, if you're planning on recording inside of a studio, then get yourself a camera that prioritizes manual settings because you're gonna have a lot more control of your environment. The cons to like this type of camera is the fact that if I drop this, it's gonna be an expensive repair. However, great cameras like the Canon M50 and the Sony ZV-E10 are great cameras that are sub $1,000. I just happen to have a Canon R6 Mark II with a shotgun mic on top. Here, I'll show you what I'm looking at. Here's my roughly $3,000 setup. I have a Canon R6 Mark II. I have a 15 to 35 2.8 millimeter L lens. I have a shotgun mic, and off to the side over here, I happen to have a GoPro as well. I always try to upgrade the microphone on my cameras. It makes it sound so much better, but make sure that you record internally. So what that means is like that shotgun mic that I showed you is connected directly to the camera and it records the sound directly onto the camera. There are ways to record sound that is external and it sounds way better. However, when it comes to the editing process, syncing audio and video sometimes can be a huge hassle and a time killer. So there are no solutions. Only trade-offs. You're gonna hit a wall once you start making content. My suggestion is keep it as simple as possible. The more complicated you make your setup, there's, more likely of something actually going wrong, from video corruption to not getting the sound correctly. You don't know how many videos I've recorded where I forgot to flip the little switch on the microphone, and I have a, 30-minute video with zero sound, all right? So the simpler, the better. both for your production and editing needs, but also for your freaking sanity. Because the less friction with all this stuff, the better, especially if you're flying solo, which brings me to lights. All right, so good enough. Basic Amazon continuous lighting video lights. I think they're like $200 for a set of 3. They're great. They'll get the job done. They just have on and off switches, and that's it. If you want optimal, then you're gonna wanna go something sort of mid-grade. I guess you can say like an Amaran 300 or Amaran 200. They're gonna have all the pro features without the pro prices, right? Up here is an Amaran. I don't know if you can kind of see that. This thing has an app. I can adjust the settings. I can tell it how bright I want it, how dim I want it, what color I want it. It mimics fire, a bunch of other stuff, but I just use it to film YouTube videos. I also happen to have one pair of Amazon lights. This was from the old set when I first started recording videos. This is the only light that kept up 5 years later. The other 2 are recycled. All right, so the big con to the Amazon lights is the fact that you have to flick those switches on every single time. And I know it seems like nothing. It's like, just flick the switch, dude. It is what it is. You don't know how many times I had everything set up. I flicked the switches, and then all of a sudden I lost momentum. I got caught up on something else, and I didn't want to film that day. I just literally turned everything right back off again, went upstairs and took a nap. The cool thing about sort of the mid-grade lights is that they are all app controlled. So with a flick of a switch on my phone, all my lights are on. So these Amaran lights, as soon as I come in here, flick the switch, everything goes on, including that little blue light back there. I don't know if you can see it. That's the only light that I have to flick on now, which isn't that big of a deal. Just believe me when I say the longer it takes for you to set up, the more energy you lose. There's a reason why in Hollywood, there's like an entire background team that does all this hard work, and the actors just come in and stand in place and say their lines. It is what it is. Now we're gonna get to the most complicated part of this entire YouTube video making process, right? The video editing itself. I personally recommend DaVinci Resolve. It's the best, literally the best video editing software out there, and it's free. All right. I don't know about you, but if it's free, it's for me. It is compatible on Apple and Windows products. If you are on Apple, the free iMovie that's already pre-installed on your Apple computers is good enough. If you want their sort of upgraded version, it is the, what is that? Apple Final Cut, if I'm not mistaken, and I think it's about $200. There is a paid version of DaVinci Resolve, which is $200, which just blows all of those out of the water. Great video editing software, but you won't need to pay those $200 because that's more for like feature films. It just unlocks a couple of other, they call them nodes in the color grading process. You don't need that. Don't worry about it. And then of course there's everybody's favorite video editing software to hate, which is Adobe Premiere Pro, which is cool if you have like the whole Adobe Premiere suite. With that said, the most production issues I've had is with Adobe Premiere, where literally the entire system kind of shuts down mid editing, and you kind of hope and cross your fingers that it auto-saved everything. It's happened once or twice. Video editing, I get it, it's not for everybody. So one of the easiest ways to start video editing your content is 1, hire a video editor, which you can easily do on Fiverr or Upwork or anything like that. 2, get your son or your grandkid or any teenager to edit video for you. They're gonna tell you that they don't know how to, but if they're on social media, if they're on TikTok, they know how to edit video. All right, don't let them fool you. They know how to edit video. And lastly, you can use AI video editing software. I know GoPro has something like that. So does Insta360. They have their sort of proprietary video editing systems. They take away all the ums and ums and all that and all the dead air and just kind of compress it into one big video. You control less of the video editing process, but it's also quicker and more efficient that way. So once again, Thomas Swalwell, there are no solutions. There are only trade-offs. I'm gonna keep repeating that throughout this video. All right, cool. You've recorded, you've edited. Now it's time to upload it, right? When it comes to YouTube video, you have to make a great thumbnail. The easiest way to do this is just get someone on Fiverr to do it. I do a lot of the thumbnails myself. They all clearly suck because nobody clicks on them. And on top of that, I apparently like to do things the hard way because I use Photoshop to make my thumbnails. Everyone tells me to use Canva, I guess, so I'll recommend that here. I like doing things the hard way sometimes. I'm a walking contradiction. To make your videos discoverable and to be shown to the right people, you want to focus on SEO, which is search engine optimization. The way I've been doing it lately is that I literally just put my script onto ChatGPT and I ask it to make me a YouTube-friendly SEO description, YouTube-friendly tags. If you want to see a video on how I use AI for the world of real estate, then go on ahead and click the video in one of these corners. It'll show you how I use ChatGPT and other AI softwares to help not only with, video editing, but making, flyers and emails and all that. Go watch the video. And lastly, one of the biggest frictions of making YouTube content is coming up with content to make, right? If you take the route of, writing an entire script, then you're gonna have writer's block. I say push through it. At the bare minimum, what I always tell people is if you're out of ideas, just record yourself doing what you normally do. You'd be surprised how many people just want to see the everyday inner workings of what is the real estate process or whatever the process is. In fact, some of the coolest videos on YouTube that I get mesmerized by are like the dudes that are working on watches, like when they take these watches apart. All they're doing is taking these watches apart, cleaning them, and putting them right back together, right? You think, what a dumb concept. I'm sitting there like a toddler drooling because I've lost track of time because of how just mesmerizing a lot of that stuff is. When it comes to, real estate, you're gonna go walk a house, get there 5 minutes early and walk the house with the camera by yourself. I don't know. Record yourself taking phone calls. I don't know. But you'd be surprised how many people just want to see this process because that's ultimately what people come to YouTube for, is to sort of learn what they wouldn't otherwise learn in any other way, right? Literally, and we all know this, people pay successful people just to be allowed to shadow them around, right? That's very common in the business world. Alrighty, that's it. If you want more help, feel free to send me an email. If I can't help you, I will refer to you someone that will. If you're looking for a video editor, let me know. I have connections. Seriously, I can find you a really good video editor. Here's the downside. They're gonna charge you a pretty penny, all right? I'm just letting you know right up front. They're gonna charge you a pretty penny, but your videos are gonna look mwah. And lastly, did you know that you can actually make money through YouTube? Go on ahead and click this video up above and find out how, all right? I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Shh.